Hello there, fourth graders. Welcome to your Chapter 6 practice test video. If you're watching this video, it's because you want to do the Chapter 6 practice test with me. So, let's move right along here. So here we have the Chapter 6 practice test. Here on the left I have my scratch paper. If you're using this video to do the Chapter 6 practice test with me, then everything I write on my scratch paper you should put on your scratch paper too, okay? Here's the first question. The first few questions we won't use our scratch paper because they are vocabulary questions. Okay, the first one says the long division steps are divide, multiply, blank, compare, bring down, repeat. And which word goes in the blank? Well, we know we can use the silly sentence, dirty monkeys smell crazy bad. So we know whatever this is has to start with an S, and it is subtract. Divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down. So that's the answer, subtract. The blank is the number that is left after one whole number is divided by another. That is the remainder. Like if you were doing 5 divided by 2, the answer would be 2 remainder 1, because you would be able to get 2 equal groups of 2 out of 5, but you'd have 1 left over. So that's remainder. The blank is the number that is divided into parts by the divisor, and it's either dividend, divisor, quotient, or compatible numbers. The number that's divided into equal parts by the divisor is the dividend. Like in the division problem, 10 divided by 5 equals 2. 10 is the dividend there because it's the number that's separated into equal groups of 5. And if you had 10 cookies and you wanted to separate them into equal groups of 5, you would have 2 cookies in each group of 5. Or, did I say that right? If you wanted to separate them into 5 groups, you could have 2 cookies in each group. So that's the dividend, the number that's separated into groups. You just saw Mrs. Price sneak in the classroom there for a second. I think she saw that I was recording a video, so she backed out, and now she's coming in the other door. Okay, the blank is the number that divides into the dividend. That's the divisor. So in that same example, 10 divided by 5 equals 2. 5 is the divisor. It's either the amount of groups you're separating something into, or it's the amount you're going to put in each group. And then blank are numbers that are easy to work with mentally. That's compatible numbers. And then, okay, here's where we're going to use our scratch paper. 600 divided by 2, okay? It says solve, so we write that, 600 divided by 2. Now remember our division patterns. When we're dividing numbers with lots of zeros in them in the dividend, we can just pretend like those zeros aren't there. You can just do 6 divided by 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3, since 2 times 3 is 6. And then all we have to do is count 1, 2 zeros in the dividend, and we can drop those 2 zeros into the quotient. So 600 divided by 2 is 300. So that's what you'd type right here, 300. Moving on, 7,200. So that's for number 1. Now we put a box around that. You always box off your work because it helps you keep it nice and neat and tidy. Then number 2. Number 2 says 7,200 divided by 9. So look, we don't have to worry about 7,200 divided by 9. We can just think of 72 divided by 9. So what times 9 equals 72? Well, 6 times 9 equals 54. 7 times 9 equals 63. 8 times 9 equals 72. So 72 divided by 9 is 8, and then you count 1, 2 zeros in the dividend, so you add 2 zeros to the quotient. So you type in 800 right here. 7,200 divided by 9 is 800. And so box that off, and let's do number 3 right here. Now remember, you're writing everything with me. You're making your scratch paper look like mine. You're actually doing the work with me. You're not just waiting for me to tell you what the answer is. 6,400 divided by 8. Remember, we can just think, what's 64 divided by 8? Well, what times 8 equals 64? 8 times 8 equals 64. So 64 divided by 8 is 8. And then you can take those 1, 2 zeros in the dividend and drop them to the right of the 8 in the quotient, and the answer is 800. So the answer was 800 twice in a row, so the answer to this one is 802. Okay, so that's number 3. Now number 4. It says estimate. Remember, anytime it says estimate, you know you need to round to find an answer that's around the exact answer. So we have 720 divided by 8. So we think, what's the closest multiple of 8 to 720? Now remember, you can use your times table chart here. It's really helpful. Start at the 8, get as close to 72 as you can, and look, you can go right to 72, and it fits in exactly 9 times because 8 times 9 is 72. So look, that means we don't even really have to round this one because 72 divided by 8 is 9, and we take that 1 0 and we drop it into the quotient. So the 720 divided by 8, it says about 90, it's actually exactly 90, so you would click that right there. The next one, though, we really do have to estimate. Number 5, it says estimate 2,660 divided by 9. So look, you underline the 26 and the 9. Now that's not really 26, it's 2,600, but we're pretending like it's 26 because we're going to find the closest multiple of 9 to 26. And remember, it's really helpful to use your times table chart here. So you go to 9 and you get as close to 26 as you can. And when you're doing this while you're doing a division problem, you can't go, or when you're in a long division problem, you can't go over, but when you're rounding, you can, because you can round up. So we're getting as close as we can to 26. There's 18 and then there's 27. 27 is a lot closer to 26 than 18 is. So we're going to round the 6 here up to a 7. We're going to make it be 2,700. Everything to the right of the place value that we rounded becomes a 0 divided by 9. And so now we just think, what's 27 divided by 9? Well, that's 3. And then we take these 2 zeros and we drop them to the right of the quotient. So 2,660 divided by 9 is about 300. So that's what you click right here, about 300. Next, 8,099. Let's box off the work we did for number 5, write number 6. We have 8,099 divided by 9. Look at the 80. It's not really 80, of course, but we're pretending. And we look at the 9 and we think, what's the closest multiple of 9 to 80? And remember, we can go over because we can round up. So we go to 9 and we keep going. Look, 81. That's very close to 80. So we're going to round this 0 up to a 1. Everything to the left stays the same. That becomes 81. And it's, it's not really 81. It's 8,100. And everything to the right becomes a 0. So now we have 8,100 divided by 9, which is very close to 8,099. So we've barely changed the dividend, but we've made them friendly numbers so that we can divide them in our heads. Because look, 81 divided by 9 is 9. And then we take these 2 zeros from the dividend and we drop them to the right of the quotient. So 8,099 divided by 9 is about 900. So you'd click that right there, about 900. Okay, that said estimate. The last few said estimate, so we didn't need to do actual long division problems to find the exact answer. But look, this one just says divide. So we're going to do a long division problem and find the exact answer. So put number 7 here. And look, it says divide 448 divided by 2. So we set it up as a long division problem. The dividend goes in the den. The divisor goes outside, sir. And we follow the steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down. Okay? We start with divide. Can we fit 2 into 4? Well, yes, we can. 2 can fit into 4 2 times. Then we multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. Then we subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. Then we compare. Is 0 smaller than 2? Yes. Now we bring down. Bring down the 4 next to the 0, and we go back to divide. Can 2 fit into 4? Yes, 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Now we subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. Is 0 smaller than 2? Yes. Now we bring down the 8. We go back to divide. Now we're dividing the 2 into 8. 2 can fit into 8 4 times, and 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 minus 8 is 0. So the answer is 224. So that's what you type right here. Okay? Moving on to the next question. It says 200 divided by 8. Let's box off that work we did. Put number 8 here. 200 divided by 8. Okay, now again, we use the steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down, repeat. Can 8 fit into 2? No, 8 can't fit into 2 because 8 is bigger than 2. Can 8 fit into 20? Yes. So the first part of the quotient has to go above that 0 in 20. How many times can 8 fit into 20? Well, 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. So 3 is too big, so it can fit in 2 times. Now we multiply. 2 times 8 is 16. Now we subtract. 20 minus 16 is 4. Is 4 smaller than 8? Yes. So now we bring down. 8 can fit into 40 how many times? 8 can fit into 40 5 times, because 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 8 is 40, and now we subtract. 40 minus 40 is 0. So the answer is 25. Now that makes sense if you think about it, because 4 25s make 100, so 8 25s would have to make 200. Okay, let's box that work off. Put number 9. Let's move on to the next question. It says 64 divided by 2. We use these same steps. 2 can fit into 6. How many times? Well, what times 2 equals 6? That's 3. So 2 can fit into 6 3 times. Now we multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. Now we subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. Is 0 smaller than 2? Yes. So now we bring down the 4. We go back to divide. Can 2 fit into 4? Yeah, 2 times. Now 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 minus 4 is 0. So the answer is 32. So that's what you need to type right here, 32. The next one, let's box off that work we did for number 9. Put number, nope, you can't see number 10 right here. And the next long division problem is 694 divided by 7. Okay. You follow the steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down, repeat. Can 7 fit into 6? No, because 7 is bigger than 6. Can 7 fit into 69? Yes. So, remember your times tables. What times 7 gets you as close to 69 as possible without going over? And again, if you don't know, this is a great opportunity to review how to use your times table chart to find out. We're trying to find out how many times 7 can fit into 69. So we keep going. We get as close to 69 as we can, this time without going over, and it's 63. So that means 7 can fit into 69 9 times, because 9 times 7 is 63, and that's as close to 69 as we can get without going over. So 7 can fit into 69 9 times. Now we multiply. 9 times 7 is 63. Now we subtract. 69 minus 63 is 7. Not 7, 6. Sometimes I like to make mistakes on purpose just to see if you're paying attention. So if you notice that I put a 7 there when I should have put a 6, good job. I was testing you. 9 minus 3 is 6. Is 6 smaller than 7? Yes. Good job not saying that whole 6, 7 thing. Good job. Okay, can 7 fit into 64? Well, yeah. How many times? We already know 9 times, because we know 9 times 7 is 63. But now we multiply. 9 times 7 is 63, and 64 minus 63 is 1. There's nothing left in the dividend that we can bring down, so it's 99, remainder 1. So that's what you choose right here, 99, remainder 1. Okay, number 11, 783 divided by 8. So, The steps: divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down, repeat. Can 8 fit into 7? No. Can 8 fit into 78? Yes. How many times can 8 fit into 78? Remember, use your times table chart. You go to 8, you get as close to 78 as you can get without going over. That's 72, so it can fit in 9 times. So 8 can fit into 78 9 times. We put that 9 right here. 9 times 8 is 72. We subtract. 78 minus 72 is 6. Is 6 smaller than 8? Yes. Now we bring down the 3. How many times can 8 fit into 63? We'll think, what? 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 8 is 64. So 8 can only fit into 63 7 times. Now we multiply. 7 times 8 is 56. We subtract. We can't take 6 from 3, so we borrow from the 6, make it a 5, making the 3 a 13. And 13 minus 6 is 7. So we write our remainder, 97, remainder 7. So that's the answer right there, 97, remainder 7. Okay, let's box off that work we did. Let's keep going here. We're on number 12. And it's 2,157 divided by 2. We use our long division steps. Dirty, monkeys, smell, crazy, bad. Repeat. Can 2 fit into 2? Yes, exactly 1 time. You'd be able to get 1 equal group of 2 out of 2. So 2 can fit into 2 once. 1 times 2 is 2. Now we subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. Is 0 smaller than 2? Yes. So we bring down the 1. Now this is a review of our lesson we did called zeros in division. Can 2 fit into 1? Well, no, it can't fit in, but we say, yeah, 2 can fit into 1 0 times. So we put a 0 right here. 0 times 2 is 0. Remember, anything times 0 is always 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. Is 1 smaller than 2? Yes. Now we bring down the 5. We make it 15. How many times can 2 fit into 15? Well, 2 times 7 is 14. That's as close to 15 as we can get without going over with multiples of 2. So 2 can fit into 15 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. 15 minus 14 is 1. Is 1 smaller than 2? Yes. We bring down the 7. Now we're fitting 2 into 17. What times 2 gets us closest to 17 without going over? That would be 8. 8 goes here. 8 times 2 is 16. And 17 minus 16 is 1. So the answer is 1,078. Oh, remainder 1. 1,078. Remainder 1. Again, sometimes I like to get things wrong just to see if you're paying attention. So it looks like it should be this answer right here, 1,078, remainder 1. Okay, next one. Box off that work we did for number 12. Put number 13. Remember, you should be writing everything I write. It's 487 divided by 8. Okay, use these same steps. Can 8 fit into 4? No. Can 8 fit into 48? Yes. So the first part of the quotient goes above the 8. What times 8 gets us closest to 48 without going over? Well, 8 times 6 is 48. So 8 can fit into 48 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. 48 minus 48 is 0. Is 0 smaller than 8? Yeah. Bring down the 7. Can 8 fit into 7? No. But remember, this is the lesson zeros in division. Yeah, 8 can fit into 7 0 times. 0 times 8 is 0. 7 minus 0 is 7. Is 7 smaller than 8? Yes. And there's nothing left in the dividend that we can bring down, so we write remainder 7. So the answer is 60, remainder 7. That's this answer choice right here. Next, 451 divided by 3. I have to turn the page over. Look at all this scratch paper that I've used. This is what your scratch paper should look like when you're done with the practice test, if you're really doing your best. If you're just picking random answers and guessing, then you're not doing your best. You're making a weak choice rather than a strong choice. Okay, 451 divided by 3. Can 3 fit into 4? Yes, you'd be able to get one equal group of 3 out of 4, so it can fit in one time. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. Is 1 smaller than 3? Yes. Now we bring down the 5. 3 can fit into 15. How many times? Well, 3 times 5 equals 15, so it can fit in 5 times. 5 times 3, like I just said, is 15. 15 minus 15 is 0. Is 0 smaller than 3? Yes. Bring down the 1. 3 can't fit into 1, but we say, yeah, 3 can fit into 1. 0 times 3 is 0. Remember, anything times 0 is always 0. Now we subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. Is 1 smaller than 3? Yeah. So we write remainder 1 because there's nothing left in the dividend that we can bring down. So it's 150 remainder 1. So you should choose this answer right here. Okay, in this next part, it's a word problem. So we want to make sure that we highlight the important parts. Now, can I highlight? I don't think so because, whoops, uh-oh, you didn't see that. Actually, I already told you that answer anyway, so it doesn't matter. Let's change this to that. Now I should be able to highlight. Let's see, I was on this word problem right here. I don't see how I can highlight. So I'm just gonna, let's just pretend that I'm highlighting. I think it's because I'm, let's see. I'm not sure what's happening, but it's not letting me highlight, but it should let you highlight regardless. Let's talk about what should be highlighted in this word problem. So it says Georgia's score, total score for 3 games of bowling is 312. If Georgia earned the same score for each game, what was her score for each game? So you should highlight 3 games and you should highlight 312. And then you should highlight what was her score for each game. Those are the important parts of this word problem. Also, another important part might be same score for each game, because that lets you know that you're separating it into equal parts. So she earned 312 points overall. That was separated or divided between 3 games. So the way we'd solve it is 312 divided by 3. Divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down, repeat. 3 can fit into 3 once. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Is 0 smaller than 3? Yeah, we bring down the 1. Can 3 fit into 1? Yeah, 0 times. 0 times 3 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. Is 1 smaller than 3? Yes. Bring down the 2. 3 can fit into 12 4 times, because 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 minus 12 is 0. So it's 104 points. So it's this answer right here. Next, Marigold and her 2 cousins made $54 selling lemonade in her neighborhood. They will share their money equally. How much money will each person get? You should highlight Marigold and her 2 cousins, because that lets you know that there's, how many of them? 3. A lot of people would just highlight 2 cousins and they would think, oh, I'm separating this into 2 equal parts, but you have to really read these. Marigold and her 2 cousins, that's 3 people, made $54 selling lemonade in her neighborhood. So she made $54 overall, but they're separating, dividing that $54 equally between 3 people, Marigold and her 2 cousins. So we use divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down, repeat. Can 3 fit into 5? Yeah, only 1 time, because 2 3s would be 6. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. Is 2 smaller than 3? Yep, now we bring down the 4. And what times 3 equals 24, or gets as close to 24 as possible without going over? Well, 3 times 8 is 24, so 3 can fit in the 24 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24, and 24 minus 24 is 0. So they each made 18 bucks. Not a bad take. Okay, so go ahead and click that answer, press submit when you're finished, and good job on this practice test. And if you followed along with this video, you should be able to get 100%, which means I'll be paying you probably quite a few Raider bucks for that. We'll see how much I decide it is. And again, good job on this. As long as you did your best, as long as your scratch paper looks like mine and you did it all with me. And I will catch you next time. This is Mr. Dauber signing off.